We're going to get started here in just a moment. A little moment here. Welcome. Welcome to another live, your Power Hour Solution Podcast. All right, we're going to get started here. Welcome. Guest soldier in the making. Happy New Year. Let me get this music out of the way. I'm a little distracted here. Just a little bit. Okay. Testing. There we go. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right. Welcome, guest. Soldier in the making. Happy New Year to you. Welcome to your Hour of Power, your Solution Interaction podcast. Get in, buckle up, turn down all distractions. Did you grab a pen? Did you invite a friend? I am your host, Soldier of Self Mastery here out of Stockton, California, Coach Santos, founder, visionary, the world's #1 problem gambling interventionist. And yes, gambling is a lie. Gambling is a lie. It'll turn you into a French fry, make you die. You'll live a lie. Time to decide. It's time to decide. Let go your pride. Let's step inside. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Are we live? Looks like we're live. All right. Here we go. All right. Hopefully we'll have Jim on the broadcast tonight here. Got to stay focused here. We got a powerful broadcast here, life-changing, hopefully life-changing broadcast. Let me see, what else do we have today? We have a life-changing broadcast. We have a solution-finding broadcast, and hopefully a micro action-taking podcast for you tonight. Right? Let me see. An action-taking podcast. What's going to cause you and I to take action? All right, let's get in here. Let's get started. You can't hear the music anyways. So once again, welcome. Let me see. Coach Jim is with us. Good to see you there, Coach Jim. I'm going to be adding Coach Jim here in just a minute. We want to welcome everybody to the live broadcast. I'm coming out of Stockton, California. Coach Jim is out of Tucson, wonderful Tucson, Arizona. We are enjoying this wonderful Sunday evening hour of power hour. Come on, folks. Is everybody alive in here? What's going on? Good to see you, Jim.
Hi, good evening, Santos. How are you?
Good evening. Good. Working on super fantastic, man. Yep, we're going to have I believe this is broadcast 197. 197, and we are going to do our best to answer your questions, your concern, anything that you've got going on that you want to bring up. You want to just lay it on the table here. We're going to do our best. And we're also going to talk a little bit about goals. We're going to talk a little bit about setting goals and, is there a purpose in setting goals? Is there a purpose for you to set a goal in your life? Is there a need to get back to basics? I know we were going to talk, well, we're always talking about a lot of things. We're always trying to do our best to share here. We'll get back to basics, but I want to be able to answer your question. Hopefully you got something going on. You're welcome. This is a no gambling zone, by the way, right? You're not going to find any slot machines here. You're not going to find any, well, there is addiction here. Be warned, all right? You can easily become addicted to self-improvement, self-empowerment, self-mastery, mind-mouth power, congruency kind of stuff. So be warned, all right? We're going to let Jim share here in just a moment, and then we're going to open up for questions, and I got a proverb that I want to share, and we are broadcasting via Facebook, so thank you. By the way, if you're not soldier scribed, I might have said this once, I'll say it twice. I'll say it 3 times. If you're not soldier scribed, I'm going to recommend that you soldier scribe to this channel and turn your notifications to all. All right? Are we in it to win it? Gabino, welcome. Welcome to the live broadcast. Race, welcome to the live broadcast. Welcome. There's Jim. It's time. You didn't tell us it's been 1 year. I didn't tell you it's been 1 year. Okay, well, congratulations, man. I have I have had a drink and I've been sober. Yeah, I had a beer the other day myself, but I don't really care for beer either. A lot of things. So, congratulations on your progress there. DE, welcome. Greetings, gentlemen. Welcome. Welcome aboard here. Hamel, good to see you. Good to see you. The sound is not good.
You sound pretty good, Santos. I hear you
Oh,
fine.
he said maybe it was the music that I was playing earlier. Sometimes I know I have to get. I'm not even going to get into this. Technology sometimes it'll play with you, man. It'll just play with your head, but you just got to keep going regardless. You know what I mean? Uh, all right. So we do have a proverb. We want to get to that. I saw someone looking at lottery ticket screen at Walmart. I did too. In fact, I bought a ticket a couple years ago out of those machines. I was about to say gambling is a lie, but don't buy that junk, but didn't want to bother him. Yeah. All right. Well, good to see you. Jim, what's on your mind? We're gonna talk a little bit about we're gonna get back to basics. I don't know, maybe just like you on the other side, maybe you need to figure out a goal for yourself this week. One goal, two goals. And maybe that's what's going to help you break this cycle that you've got going on in your life, whatever it might be. Set a goal. What is a goal, anyways? Do we need goals? Should we have goals? How do goals work? What is important about these kinds of things? Should we really be bothered with these kinds of things today? So we're going to talk a little bit about that and see if we can help you on the other side get further down the road instead of going back, but further down the road, closer. Let me see. Jim said it. Was it Jim? I said it. Maybe a few others have said it. That it's not about the destination. It's not about where you're going, but we do need to have some place. We need to have a POI. We need to have a point of interest. But it's what you're becoming and what you're going through, or let me say it this way: what you're growing through as you get there. All right, Jim. What's on your mind, Jim? Hey, Laura,
Yeah.
welcome. Yeah.
So when you're talking about goals, it made me think about like when I was growing up. Basically people told me what to do. It's the right thing to do. Go to school. Do your homework. You know, get a job. You know, and I was thinking about that, and it seems to me that my life was kind of planned by other people's goals. I think it's kind of important for us to take responsibility for our lives and start, taking charge of our own lives. We've been kind of directed by, parents, maybe society, peers, on what to do. And we
Yeah.
just kind of like go along with it, right? But I mean, to move to the next level is taking responsibility, right? For our own lives and setting things that we want, right? We got to go and think about what we really want. And a lot of times we think about what other people wanted, right? And that was easy, right? Okay, I'll just, follow what they say, get a job, go to work, you know, stay out of trouble, right? But I mean, like, to really improve your life, you got to really look at yourself and start taking charge. I mean, if you have a gambling problem or some kind of an addiction, right?
Hmm.
All of a sudden, like the responsibility is on the shoulders of the person in the mirror. It's like, wow, and no one's gonna, all those people, really, your friends, the people at work, your parents. I mean, they're not obligated to take care of your life, right? To move you to that next level, right, of improving your life, getting you out of that addiction. It's it's your responsibility. I mean, and I think that's what Jim Rohn said. It's like the taking responsibility for your life is, the sign of, that you reach maturity. You really reach maturity, being responsible for yourself, I think. So, I mean, it's a big thing, I mean, if you never done it before, taking charge of your own life, right? What do you do? I just followed what other people told me to do, what do you mean, change my mindset? What do you mean set a goal? What do you mean improve my own life? What does that mean?
Yeah.
But it's important, to start taking charge, because if you look at your life, with that empty bank account, those unpaid bills, you know, that awful feeling, crying when you lose all that money, right? When you're drunk and act stupid, or you're stoned out of your mind, you know, you could be addicted to fear. You could be addicted to the comfort zone. I feel safe, just lying in bed, Oh yeah, I'm not going to go out in the world and try anything new because it feels safe here, why put myself, in that situation, of like putting myself in danger, people making fun of me, me looking at myself, and being embarrassed at myself. Why would I want to do that? I feel so comfortable, not doing anything, just doing what I'm doing.
We definitely man, you hit the nail right on the head, Jim. That's exactly what we fall into if we don't have a goal, if we don't have, something to strive for, that's for sure. And you know, setting goals is not that easy for some folks. Even though we do accomplish goals every single day, we have goals every single day that we accomplish without
Mhm.
even thinking about it.
Yeah, I think it's
Uh,
very difficult for us to kind of set goals because, it can be difficult because sometimes we just don't believe in ourselves.
yeah.
We just don't believe in ourselves. We messed up so much, we failed so much. It's like, who do you think you are? Huh, good luck. You're not going to do it. Look at you. Look at you. You
Yeah.
know, I've seen you before. You tried before and you failed. So that
Mhm.
self talk, right? Can be very negative. And it really prevents us from, doing meaningful goals that will improve our lives. Um, but yeah, I think, you were talking about Maxwell malts a while ago, and it's like you gotta remember your victories. You gotta remember that you've done it before. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, latching on to something important, latching on. I think latching on to something that you can do and just build some momentum. You know.
One yeah, one little goal. You know, we it's I think that maybe we have it wrong, right? Instead of trying to defeat the thing, we need to start we instead of trying to defeat something, we need to start developing something inside of us, and that is self-belief.
Mhm.
Maybe that's where the problem is. It's really down to self-belief. We can try different things, we can experiment with all kinds of different life hacks and stuff, but ultimately, if we don't really get down to the nitty and gritty and say, wait a minute, why am I still gambling? Or why am I still doing that thing? Why am I still doing it? Go ahead. You got something you want to share? And then I'm
Yeah,
going to read a proverb here.
when you were going through, your progression, your climb out of the gambling, you found successes. Did you ever kind of celebrate any of your successes when you like reflected upon, what you've done, how far you've gone? Did you ever say, you know what, I did it, I did this,
Mhm.
good job to me? Or did you like celebrate, or just kind of like give a fist pump? I don't know, because that's something that I need to work on myself. It's like, I do, I've accomplished things, but I don't really, make much of it, and I think that's something that we need to kind of focus on, is to be
Yeah.
aware and celebrate the things that we accomplish. Um, just because I mean I think that's just a reinforcement of our ability to be able to do the things we do. It's like, look, I did it. I did it. You know,
Mhm.
that
Yeah,
acknowledgement.
yeah. Let me get this, and we're gonna look at that, acknowledging those points. Um, we talked about was it not creative? Well, we talked about creativity. We all have that. Clarity. Clarity is very, very, um, so much needed. But you can't have clarity if you don't have belief in yourself. Or what can you have self belief and not clarity? All of these things that we need to build upon, but again, one thing at a time, right? We can get so frustrated and say, you know what, my life is just so messed up, man. I'm not going to do anything. Um, First Peter, proverb is First Peter 4 and 5 here. Let me read these real quick here. My religious side here coming out. To an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled, and that fadeth not away, reserved in heaven for you, who are kept by the power of God through faith unto salvation, ready to be revealed in the last time. Wow. What is ready to be revealed in the last time? Well, I'll leave that up to God. God can reveal whatever He decides because He's the one that's in charge. In the meantime, we got to get we got to get on the road, and we got to get it right. Uh, we talk about micro steps going forward. One micro step, one goal. I was just thinking about this. What is it that I need to accomplish this week? Uh, and really, what is the purpose of having a goal? What would be the purpose of a problem gambler to have a goal or to get a goal? What would be the purpose? And this is not easy. Like a person that, like, it's an alcoholic, to get one goal, to get themselves one goal motivated to stop doing whatever it is that they need, or start doing what they need to do. Um, and it's hard because we keep failing. We keep going back and forth, back and forth. I know I read a lot of comments and I just seem to get a lot of the same stuff pretty much. Back and forth, back and forth. By the way, gambling is a lie. Thank you for your, I appreciate the contribution. By the way, thank you, City by the Bay. If you feel that you're getting something from this broadcast on Sundays, we're only here on Sundays for about 45 minutes or so, an hour. If you feel like you're getting something out of this broadcast, um, and we want to address this thing that Jim was talking about, celebrating those moments. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. But if you are benefiting from this broadcast, if you're a young person, you're just a young person out there, you're just starting to get involved into the gaming world, let me give you a warning right here. Online, casinos, slot machines, sports betting, all of that, the bookies, it's deadly. It's deadly. There's a price to pay for all of that, young person. If you're sitting here looking, listening, you stumbled across this program. You didn't stumble. We all have problems. We all have challenges that we need to overcome. That's one of the reasons why I'm here on Sundays, because I have problems. I have challenges, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Because if you're afraid to admit what's going on in your life, I'm not saying that you have to tell everybody what's going on in your life. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you must face what you must face, or else you're going to stay right there, right? Back and forth. Man, I slipped. I lost $500 yesterday. Man, I lost $1,000 last week. I lost $10,000 last month. Well, it's a new month, right? I said to a coaching client yesterday, on a coaching call. I said, it's a new day. Start over. It's a new day. What is the purpose of a goal? Jim, you got something you want to share there
Yeah,
about
purpose of
the?
a goal. Yeah, I mean, what is the purpose of a goal? I mean, that's direction in life, right? I think it's an intentional direction in life where we want to go, where we want to be, in the future. Man, I mean, we talked about vision, right? What do we envision our lives to be like, right? Today, tomorrow, the end of this week, right? You know, we have to ask ourselves, well, I think everyone wants better, right? Everyone wants better. Um, but I guess there's a couple problems. They don't know really what better is, or they feel that they don't have the ability to reach that better. I think we live in a very impatient world. I think that we want things instantly, and we get
Yeah,
very, very frustrated when we can't get, those immediate, rewards, right? So, we have a tendency to kind of give up. We get enthusiastic and excited, um, but yeah, we don't have a plan, and we just kind of fail. Having a plan, being disciplined to, follow through with that plan, being disciplined to, look over what went right and what went wrong, and just adjust and try again, right? I mean, that takes work, man. I mean, that really takes work. You gotta, I mean, it's something intentional. It just doesn't fall into our laps. A lot of seems like a lot of things in our life just falls into our lap. We can just call Uber, get a car ride, right? We can, just have the pizza delivered. We can get
yeah,
our paycheck instantly. From direct deposit, right? Credit card, whatever, right? But when we have to do something for ourselves, right? It's not instant, is it? I mean, it takes effort, it takes work, and I don't know. I guess we're just kind of conditioned to just kind of maybe give up on ourselves because we see everything out there and the Facebook and YouTube. Everyone's being so successful. Everyone's doing great. Then you look at yourself, it's like, oh, how come I'm not going anywhere? I'm not going anywhere. It
yeah,
takes time. We got to be patient with ourselves, but we need a goal, right? Is intentional place of where we want to be in the future. It's going to take a plan. It's going to take ideas. It's going to take work, right? It's going to take reflection. I mean, that's the only way it can happen. We got to remind ourselves. It just doesn't happen. But I think when you start feeling that you're getting traction, I think traction. We talked about emotion, right? We talked about the importance of positive emotion driving us, towards a better place in life. And I think that feeling that I am making some kind of progress, you know we have to look for those things, and we have to try to you know do what we can and see that we are making some type of progress. And we have to remember that it doesn't happen all at once. It doesn't happen maybe the first day. When I was exercising, getting in shape, etc., it didn't happen the first day, second day, third day. Still had that gut, right? um but little by little, look at the scale, right? Look at the scale, all right? Check my time. It's like,
mhm,
okay, I'm getting some traction. I'm getting some traction. I'm making some progress. The gambler can do the same thing. I was thinking about what you were saying. It's like you lost $1,000, today, lost, 10,000, you know, you said it's a new day. It's like, I was thinking that, right now, this moment is the only thing that we have, really. I mean, this moment, right now. I mean,
yeah,
forget about everything else. What you have right now is this moment.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
think you can take some, peace of mind saying that, yeah, I have control of this moment. So with that, You can
Mhm.
start looking at where you want to direct your life, and that's where your goal comes in. Right?
Yep. That's why it's hard to quit, because the truth is you don't have a goal.
hmm Yeah, no focus. I mean, yeah, I mean, so we got to latch on to something, micro moment, right? Step by step, baby step by baby step, and just build up some momentum, get that traction, because I think that feeling, the feeling, we got to develop that good feeling of movement towards the goal. We got to develop that, because otherwise we're just aimlessly wandering and just, going nowhere, just like a boat, right? Without any kind of paddles or a sail, just drifting, you know.
Yep. It's we know for sure that that's gonna be it's just not gonna go anywhere. It's just gonna be like Earl Nightingale says, it's just gonna be it's gonna run amok.
Mhm. I was thinking
But
about different phrases, I mean, I like this phrase, move the needle. Move the needle. How can I move the needle today? What does that mean, move the needle? Well,
yeah,
what can I do today that will, actually show that I'm moving in the direction I want to go? For the gambler, let's say, today, how can I move the needle today? You know,
hmm,
I'm going to stay away from the casino. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give my partner, my credit cards, debit cards, all my cash. How can I
yeah,
move the needle? All right. Don't give this stuff to me, you know, move the needle. I'm going to go to a GA meeting or something like that, or I'm going to talk to someone, and if you do that, right, you write it down, you do it. It's like I moved the needle. I did something.
yeah,
I did
yeah,
something. And you should celebrate that. It's like, I did it today. I did it. And like you said, journal, write it down, and keep a log. It's interesting. I remember this one guy, would he had some type of goal of like making sales, and he would put paper clips in one jar in another every time he made a phone call or something like that to do. And and you can actually see this huge jar, and he was very successful because it's like he saw that he was making progress. So we can do that too, you know something physical, whether it be a list on our journal or a jar full of paper clips. Every time we do something, that we believe moves the needle. You know, I
yeah.
mean, that develops that emotional, that feeling, that positive feeling.
Yeah, just having a little piece of paper somewhere where you can check it off
hmm
moves the needle.
Yeah.
If you can visualize it that way, you want to move the needle a little bit. Okay, you got a check mark. You think these little things like that don't make a big deal, but they do. And it's like if you look at a little piece of paper that you wrote something on and then you see little checks next to it, subliminally, it does something to your psyche.
hmm
You don't think about it all the time, but when you're there and you're looking at it, it's like a silent sermon. It's speaking to you.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you're not, obviously, if you're not progressing forward, if it's because you don't have a goal. So speaking about the gambling going against God, everybody has, because of everybody's different. Every human being is different, and we all see things and interpret things differently. That's why I believe to have a good partner, a good coach, a good uh, a good counselor by your side when you need one is very profitable, because we're all different. We all see things differently, and we experience things differently. So, uh, to somebody might think to themselves, it's not a problem. Gambling, I don't feel bad. It's not doing anything to God. They might think that. Another person might think, yeah, man, it's really bad. The Bible talks about these kinds of things. The law book talks about casting your lot, casting your lot. So again, you have to ask yourself the question, right? Personally, um, you have to answer the question for yourself. I can give you my observation, but what's important is your observation, right? We all need to have our own personal observations because then again, we all start, like I think you mentioned this earlier. We go around and we measure ourselves to other people. We compare ourselves to other people, and that is a dangerous trap to fall into when you begin comparing yourself because we're all in trouble. I don't care how you look at it. Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter,
It's kind
we're
of
all in
interesting.
trouble.
Yeah, when you
Yeah,
think
you
about
know?
comparing, Santos, you know, if we can just kind of refine that word, what if we said I'm inspired? What if we said I'm inspired by that person? That person's going. It's like wow, that person was able to do it. It's like you compare. Let's say that some listeners right now are saying, you know what, I look at Santos and he's come so far. I can never do what he did. So you're
Mhm.
comparing yourself. Why don't you be inspired? It's like, you know what, Santos did it. That's amazing, right? I mean, if he can do it, I can do it. I mean, he's gone through a lot of shit in his life, but he was able to pull himself out. I think I can do it too. Inspiring, right?
Mhm.
So I mean, it's like what we focus on, really. How do we see things? Do we see it with kind of fear and like self-loathing, or do we see things that are kind of inspiring, right? I mean, I think if we kind of look at it in that way, right? Let's not look at the negative aspect, right? Comparing. I like to go out and say, how can I get inspired by this? Inspired. Um,
So you look at the negative, we have to look at the negative also. I mean, it would be nice if we didn't live in a negative world, but unfortunately we have to. We have negative inside of our bodies. And in fact, if we don't look at the negative, how are we going to come up with the positive?
mhm, right.
So, if we just lived in total happiness all the time and good health all the time and everything was just perfect all the time, it kind of reminds me of that movie with Jim Carrey. Remember that movie? There was a movie where everything was just perfect and he was tore up inside. He wanted to tear that place out. What was the name of that place?
Uh,
Everything was perfect,
uh,
and we don't understand that
yeah.
here on this side of planet Earth. There's no such thing as perfection. Um, but what was the name of that movie? They had him living in this fake city, and
uh,
everything was fake. And then he knew there was something. And he broke out of there, and I don't remember
yeah, I know what you're talking about, Santos.
too much of that movie. It was kind of an interesting movie, though. Kind of, there's a lot that you can learn from all of these Hollywood pictures and stuff like that. I think it was Hollywood. So I know that was a long answer about gambling. Again, the bottom line is if you're doing something, obviously you're not. It's because you don't have a goal, and on top of that, you don't believe in yourself. Jim and I were talking about this earlier. We say things. We're better off not saying anything at all, or not even thinking it. The moment you start thinking something or you start saying it, if you don't put accountability measures like securing your finances, if you don't do those things, your subconscious is picking up on everything that you're saying. And then what happens after a while? You get depressed, you feel defeated, you don't take any chances, you don't want to do anything because of the simple fact that you just don't believe in yourself, period. You just don't believe in yourself. You don't set a goal, you don't believe in yourself. You should set a goal so that you can start believing in yourself, right? You should start believing in yourself so you can set a goal.
Yeah, life is a gamble. You can go ahead and say, I it's like it's risky. I remember it's risky, right? Life is risky, right? Um, but we take calculated risks, right? Right? We have to be, able to say, okay, if I do if I do X, what's gonna happen? What's gonna be the result of it? What are the chances, right? What are the chances if I go to the casino, right? I might win $1,000, maybe, right? I might win some
Maybe,
money at the blackjack table, right?
maybe.
Right? But if I lose, I'm not going to have that. I'm going to be short. My bank account's going to go to zero. You know, what are the chances? What are the chances? And what would you like out of the outcome? Shh.
Yeah,
It's like, nah, I want to keep my $1,000. I want to keep my $1,000. Um, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, like we can either lose time, money, or energy, right? In the choices that we make, we can lose time, money, or energy um, if we choose whatever, right? I mean, we can choose to stay in the comfort zone and save energy. We can save time. It's like, oh, you know what? If I don't do that, I'm not going to waste my time because I think I'm just going to waste my time. You know, But I
yeah,
mean, if you choose that option, right? What do you risk? What do you risk? If
yeah,
you choose to say, you know what, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go to go to Santos's coaching session. I'm not gonna do that. I just don't feel good about that. What's the risk there, man? What's the risk? It's like he could his being with him, talking with him for that hour, could lead me on that path where I'm going to actually save a bunch of money, get my life on track. I'm going to risk that. I could risk that.
time and money.
Right. It's like if I so if I bet on, just not going, right? What could I lose? What could I lose? And maybe if we start, thinking about our choices in life in that regard, you know, I mean, maybe we'll start making better decisions and setting better goals.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody, and that's it. There is making better decisions, setting better goals, and making better decisions.
Hmm.
Um, Somebody said that life. You had mentioned, and I think we all say this: life is a gamble. Um, the sad thing is that is actually true. Now, let me explain that. Your life is a gamble every day that you get up. Now, some people go out and gamble physically. They're putting their life in a gamble. But when we get up every single day and we drive the car and we go into town and we go places that we haven't been there maybe earlier that day or whatever, we're all gambling to a certain degree. Uh, you're putting weight, you're putting all your weight on your 2 feet. It doesn't sound like a gamble. Oh, that's just, it's not a real, well, it is a gamble. In a sense, it is a gamble because we don't know what's going to happen within the next several hours. I mean, we can plan, but in actuality, we don't know what's on the other side. So
If you
you
if
can
you want,
choose, you can choose to look at life as a gamble. You can, right? You can choose to look at life as not a gamble. You're going to be correct in both ways.
if you want to use gambling as an analogy in life, you can say, okay, life's a gamble. I want to be the house. I want to be the house. What does that mean? I'm going to put all the odds in my favor. I'm going to put the odds in my favor, right? Yeah, I can go ahead and drive, and yeah, I could crash, right? But I'm going to put the odds in my favor by looking both ways. I'm going to keep that speed limit. I'm going to go out and make sure my tires are inflated properly. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to be looking both ways before I go through the intersection at the green light. Yeah, it's a gamble, but I'm going to be the house. I'm going to put all the odds in my favor so I can win. So I can win. You know,
Yep.
you don't want to be
Yep.
the gambler because the gambler loses. You want to
Yeah.
be the house.
Yeah, there you go. Be the house. So being the house is setting a goal, right? Santos, I don't know how to set goals. Well, if you don't have any, that's a good indicator of where you may be. So what do? You set a goal. How do you set a goal? Piece of paper and pencil. We all know what we need to be doing. I mean, we all have goals and different things that we could be working on every single day. We procrastinate to the maximum. And you know the sad thing, Jim, and guests, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, things are not getting better out there. Some technology might be improving. There might be some landscape that looks really nice, flowers and green grass and all of those kinds of things. But when you look at the overall picture of what's going on in this entire world with sin and gambling and addiction and our human nature, we're dark people. I mean, look at what we're doing to each other. Sometimes I don't even want to look at there's things I don't really watch a lot of the TV movies and stuff, but every once in a while I get caught up with something, a headline, and I'll look at that headline and I'll say, "My God, what a week! What kind of an animal we've turned ourselves into?" Because it's almost mind-boggling, some of the stuff that we see out there, and even in our own lives. Sometimes you get a thought, we ain't perfect. I know I ain't. Sometimes I get really horrible thoughts, man. And I don't want to talk about those thoughts that I get. I don't dwell on them. I try to get rid of them as fast as possible. But you know what I'm talking about. There's times that we get really bad thoughts, whether it's a bad thought or somebody does us wrong. Somebody does something to us, and it's like inside nobody knows. Nobody knows, but you and I know.
Mhm.
So yes, we're coming close to the hour here. I want to just, I really truly appreciate everybody's been had a pretty big crowd here tonight. Laura, Hamill, Race, Jim, The Rock from Brockton, City by the Bay, Sam, oh, Hamill. Did I? I got Hamill. Who was it that was in here earlier? No, Rose wasn't in here. Hamill, and then was it somebody in here that I saw that Cabino. There we go. Cabino, it's good to see you there. Anyhow, and then to the rest of you guys, I'm getting stuffed up here a little bit. We're going to be ending the broadcast pretty soon. But again, we're here to discuss going forward, progressing a little bit. Something's better than nothing. Something is better than nothing. I know, man, but how do you get to that something? Gee, Santos, man, it's so hard for me right now to get to that something. One goal, one thing, one step. Oh, Sam, there we go. Almost forgot about Sam. Yeah. So I guess my call to action would be just get a goal. If you feel stuck, get a goal. Santos, I don't find a goal, find a way, make a way. Because if you don't, you're going to stay where you're at. And do you want to stay where you're at? What's it costing you to stay there? Right? Um, if you stay there, will you lose anything? Right? If you stay there, will you lose anything?
Yeah, Santos, when we think about goals, I think a good question is to ask is, you know, how can I improve my life? How can I improve my life? What does an improved life look like, right? And there's many different aspects of our lives, right? I mean, there's our financial part of our life, right? There's our family life, our friends' life. There's our health, you know. And I think what's positive is to kind of focus on maybe a health goal, you know, because I mean, if you can feel good, right, physically feel
Yeah.
good, with energy and vitality, I think it makes it a lot easier to pursue, the other aspects. Because it's like if you are focused on eating better, getting rest, eating more nutritious meals, exercising, right? It kind of shows you that, you do care about yourself, you know? I mean, I'm
Hmm.
doing things that take care of myself. And then from that kind of helps us move to that next goal. Okay, now you know what's I'm eating that apple a day, right?
Yeah.
I'm jogging around, I'm exercising, I do those 20 sit-ups and push-ups in the morning, every day. I brush and floss my teeth every day.
A
I'm
little
doing
bit.
it, right? So I'm getting some traction here. You know, what else can I do? What else can I do to improve my life? you know and just really kind of be laser focused on it. It's very simple. I think that's simple. But I mean, you got to
Simple.
start somewhere, right? And then ask yourself, how else can I improve my life? How can I refine, the way I do this to make my life even better? How can I refine what I did from yesterday? you know Maybe you're
Yeah.
still going to the casino. Maybe you say, you know what, I, I'm just going to take $100 or something like that. I'm not gonna gamble what I normally gamble, $1,000 or something. If I just do that, little steps, right? You know, and always having in that mind, like you were saying, right? I'm not a gambler. I'm not a gambler. I'm not a
Yeah.
gambler, right?
Reminding yourself.
And all of a sudden, it's like, you know what, this doesn't taste that good anymore. It's like, nah, I don't think I want to go here anymore, right? You're making that change, right? Making that change. It's like I don't, yeah. I mean, in any kind of addiction, I guess. So start somewhere. I would start with your health, because you got to have that energy. I think your health and your emotions kind of tied together.
Drink a
Your
lot
health.
of water.
Hmm.
That could be a good health goal for somebody. I know it's for me. I need to drink a little bit more water myself
Yeah.
because our brain is there's a lot of water circling our brain, I guess. And it sounds kind of corny, but if your lake is dry, if it's low, is that healthy? If your water is low, is that healthy? No, you can still operate, but it's probably better for you to be, like they say, top it up. Like the oil in the car and the lubricants and stuff, top it up. And I believe that that could be a good goal for you, right? On the other side, one goal,
Yeah.
you
Just
start
imagine.
drinking more water. Just start drinking more water, little
Drink
by
more
little.
water
That
and imagine, you're going to be flushing out all those poisonous thoughts, all those poisonous habits, right? Drink that water, and say, yeah, I'm taking care of my health. I'm going to use this magical elixir to flush out all the garbage that's in my mind and in my body, you know, whatever it
yeah,
takes.
yeah, and again, we I thank you guys for donating. I really appreciate your contributions there. Appreciate that. Again, um, I believe it's better to give to this mission than to give to the slut machines. I'm a little biased, huh? But I believe that we're all doing a good thing here. I mean, at least I'm trying to be here every Sunday and help young people out too, because there's a lot of young people out there that are in trouble. A lot of young people that are in trouble or they're headed for some problems in 6 months or 2 years down the road. So if we can catch people early, it makes a difference, right? Sometimes, man, when you catch people in gambling, it's later on, they're stuck. It's hard. They've lost everything. Their attitude sucks, and it's hard, man. It's hard. You don't believe in yourself. You really don't want to set a goal. I understand. I know Jim's been talking about this. I understand. We understand it, at least from the perspective of not gambling. I understand that. But procrastinating and doing all of these things, we all do that. We just need to continually work, get on it. Set one goal a day, two goals a day, couple days, couple goals a week, and then follow up on it. Don't just do it. But you got to follow up. You got to, how am I doing here? 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, am I keeping up with the stuff that I'm doing? You know, it's easy to say it tonight, Sunday. We're all fired up. Tomorrow's Monday. Oh, I don't want to go to work, man. Whatever. We got to take care of business. Yep. Well, that's all I have, my friends. Pick a goal, set a goal. I'm going to see you guys next Sunday, Lord willing, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here. Make sure that you're soldier scribed. If you're not soldier scribed to this channel, share, leave a comment, always a thumbs up. And I appreciate all of you guys that are contributing. Somehow, what you give is going to come back to you in some way. Could be money, could come back to you in money, could come back to you in some other uh, unknown way. We don't have control over every existing power that's outside of us. So, with that said, I do want to thank everybody, though. Hamo, Laura, City by the Bay, The Rock, Purify. He says, gambling is traumatizing. So tired of it. Got to set a goal. Set a goal. Race, thank you. Laura, Mark, and who else has been with us here? So go ahead, Jim. I'm going to, City by the Bay, thank you for giving. Appreciate the car vlogs. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
like for everyone on this program, including me, and I would probably speak for you too, Santos. You know, us by us being here and everyone contributing, it shows that we want to improve our lives. You know, and when we take these intentional actions, to comment or give money or give share ideas, we're planting good seeds, right? That focuses
exactly.
in the direction that we want to go. You know, I mean, think about what everyone is doing right now. Instead of you know spending time at our addictions, right? We are substituting that with something that's beneficial to us and moving us closer. We're moving the needle. We're getting traction. We have to ask, look, another one in the books, right? Santos, 197, going to be in the books, right? Think
197,
about it.
man.
Wow, wow. How about
Yep.
that? And everyone who's been here, it's like, yeah, I I, I actually accomplished something. I'm getting good ideas, right? And I'm going to be
Good
acting on
idea.
more good ideas. You know, so yeah,
Yep.
I mean, just keep that in mind. I mean, we're making these choices, these intentional choices by being here. So it proves to us that we do care about ourselves and we want what's best for us. All right, so there's a victory for us.
Mhm. There's the victory for us. All right, my friends, guests, soldiers in the making, community members. I'm going to see you guys next Sunday, Lord willing, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bring a pen. Oh, there's my notes right there. See, that was a big fat zero, like gambling. And invite a friend. So bring a pen and invite a friend. I'll see you guys next Sunday. Be safe, set your goal, and let's talk about the goal next week. Maybe we can talk about goals. Hey, I accomplished the goal this week. I accomplished this. I did this other thing. Maybe you went 7 days without gambling.
It's a good goal.
All right, Jim, until our next one, man. Thank you for hanging out. Stay warm out there or cool. Tucson, Arizona, I guess.
Thanks, Santos. You have a great week.
All right, you too, Jim.
Take care. Bye bye.
Goodbye, everybody.